on you gon' be up that biscuit. Fuck all that brick shit. So when you shoot, you gon' be down the district. Keep a revolver, save a lot of problems. Let me talk with you, young. Always think you strong, dog. Never wrong, dog. You told me way back then you put me on, dog. And I stood tall, dog. Like city hard, dog. The city's ours, dog. See the Bentley's ours, dog. If free gone, dog. Tell me, come on, dog. You gon' be the me like C. Could've been the big like Saul. Should've been the J for C. Cross the bridge. That's how it is. That's how it go. Any problems with that kid? Tell a nigga what it is. Yo, Chris, tell them niggas. I'm a Philly when they cook out every corner. The jails got all the fathers. Baby in one shoot, dope up in the other on. Another crack baby born, they got a track crazy, y'all. I'm a Philly where they cook out every day. Raise the block every hour. The hustlers on every corner. The cops on every other, y'all. And think nothing of it, y'all. Bodies every other, y'all. But we gotta love it, y'all. Not again. Just wash your homies, Chris. One of my realest homies, man. She play smart. You lonely, sir. Walking off the drill, still touching all the freaks. But they love it when it's both, y'all. When you love them most, y'all. Got off the hood. A lot of niggas change Chris. Time to beat the change Chris. The only thing can trust nobody with them things now. Gotta keep them things down, man. Where they cooking on every corner. The cops and all the mothers. Baby in one shoot, dope up in the other arm. You gotta start crazy, y'all. The home of Philly where they cook out every day. Raise the block every hour. The cops on every other, y'all. And think nothing of it, y'all. Bodies every other, y'all. But we gotta love it, y'all. The home of Philadelphia. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ignorant Thinker Podcast. I'm here with my guy, Chad Bourne, is in the building. Listen, Chad, listen, I've been waiting to do this show with you for a while. You know, I've been watching your podcast, and I said, man, this boy got something nice. You know, I've been looking at everything you've been doing, and I was like, yeah, I got to do a show with Chad. He talks about the Eagles. I talk about the Eagles. You know, this been one hell of a season. But Chad, introduce yourself to the people. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, welcome. Chad Byrne, thank you for having me on, man. Really excited to do this. Just excited to talk birds, man. Talk everything going on. I mean, crazy stuff happening. But yeah, we're doing a podcast once a week. We talk all the Philly sports, mostly Eagles, 76ers. That's the focus. Come out every Monday. But yeah, man, I'm just excited to get this done. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it definitely has. Definitely has been a long time coming. Now, Chad, when did you become an Eagles fan?
So I actually grew up in Jersey, kind of central Jersey, right? Kind of not far outside of like the Bucks County area of Pennsylvania. So I've always been an Eagles fan growing up. I lived in kind of a town that was 50% New York Giants fans, 50% Eagles fans, and I just got along more with Eagles fans. So that's how I ended up becoming a fan, like for life.
Okay. Now, what year was that you say?
Man, like 98, 99. That's because I was born 92, so 90s all the way through 2000.
Wow. That's what's up. Yeah, I became an Eagles fan in 91.
There you go. Beat me for sure.
I was born 85.
There you go. Got years on me.
I became an Eagles fan in 91. Yeah. Reggie White is my favorite player of all time, but Randall Cunningham made me become an Eagles fan.
Says man, I don't have any memories of Randall Cunningham, which kind of is a disappointment for me.
Yeah. It's like you missed what you missed was I want to make sure I say this right. What you missed was Carson Wentz times 2.
Oh, I feel like times a bunch more than that. Because I love Carson Wentz, but watching the highlights of Randall Cunningham, oof.
Yeah, you miss Carson Wentz. Like Carson Wentz has that fearlessness. You know, well, early he had that fearlessness about him that was like Randall Cunningham, but he couldn't fly like Randall. He was making plays though. I can't on early Carson Wentz. If you times that by 2, that was Randall Cunningham.
Right. So 2017 Carson times 2.
Yeah, even 2016. 2016 had some shades of him looking
That's
great
true.
too. So if you times that by two, that was Carson Wentz. I mean, that was
Imagine,
Randall Cunningham.
imagine
You
that could have been
if you
Carson on the
take
team.
Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick and put them together, that's Randall
Yeah,
Cunningham.
oh, man, legendary Eagle.
Man, he's a legendary Eagle. Now that's and the ladies, oh my God, the ladies love him. The ladies love my mother loved him. My aunts loved him. My grandmom loved him.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah,
Wasn't he? Didn't he have a talk show too at some point?
yeah. He had a talk show. Well, every Eagles quarterback got a talk show. So I
Oh,
think every
true.
quarterback in the NFL got a talk show. I think that's how it is. I think because me and my dad was talking about that yesterday. I think every quarterback in the NFL has a talk show that they go through, and it
Yeah,
airs that Sunday before the game, and they'll talk for like
right.
maybe a half hour, whatever. But yeah, that's definitely this man. Yeah, Randall Cunningham was my guy. But like I said, you've been through some ups and downs with the Eagles. After watching this season, what was your first thought? Let's just say before Doug got fired, the season's over, and what was your first thought?
Total failure, man. Like that's my thought. Like I thought this organization it just felt like the whole thing was bad, just from top down. Whether it was Howie Roseman decisions, Doug Peterson not looking as good, Carson Wentz, the line, it just seemed like everything was a total mess this year. Like
I've seen that, but I also seen out of this team it was like okay, we had a bad year, but all right, it was gonna happen. This is Doug Peterson's worst year.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He went 4-1-11, and I'm like, other than that, every other year he was fighting. Even this year, he was still fighting for the playoffs until the last 2 weeks of the season.
But
Every
that's
year
only
he's fighting
because
for the playoffs until at least week 15. So,
But that's only because it was a terrible division. Like that's my
right.
thing, and I think that there was like in the games themselves, like we just started seeing a Doug Peterson that wasn't confident with his play calling. The fourth downs weren't there. The 2-point conversions weren't there. And granted, it's definitely a lack of talent on the field, but there was just a complete, just like Carson Wentz was sliding down the hill. I felt like Doug Peterson was the same way all the way to the season.
Okay. Now, let me back it up a little bit. Last year's draft, how did you feel?
With the Jalen Hurts draft pick
With not just Jalen Hurts. I mean, just with the whole draft.
in general, I hated it. I felt like going for Jalen Reagor as much as like the Eagles seemed to come out and say we needed someone to have speed on the outside. Like the Jalen Reagor pick, I don't think was the best man on the board at the wide receiver position. I just feel like you could have done better. Or if you really wanted to address wide receiver, you could have moved up. And then the Jalen Hurts pick at second, like I know now when we look back, it's like, okay, great, we have a quarterback to help out because Carson's gone. But in all honesty, at the time, it was still a terrible pick because you just didn't need a quarterback. You needed help to surround Carson Wentz. You didn't know Carson Wentz was going to have this bad a season. And then everything else piling up on top. So, look, now I'm happy we have Jalen Hurts there, at least to be to fill the starting role. But I thought that draft was just handled miserably. It just didn't seem, I don't know. I don't think it looked like how an organization should go into a draft.
Yeah, I actually wanted I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted to get a middle linebacker. I wanted to get a linebacker.
Really? Like go defense early?
Yeah, I wanted to go defense first round because our defense is. It just seemed like, everybody keeps saying, "No, you need more talent on offense," and I'm sitting there like, our defense is giving up too many points. Like,
yeah,
we can't stop the run. It could be 3rd and 15. He'll play sticks defense. They'll get 30 yards. Then you like, it was 3rd and 15. Like,
oh. But I hated that sticks defense. The sticks defense offense. And I agree. I mean, the Eagles haven't had like an actual bona fide linebacker for so long. Like someone to just actually be there and you can rely on every single year. Because like if Nate Gary's out there again trying to chase down a tight end 10, 15 yards off because he can't keep up with them, I mean, we're done for. It's ridiculous.
I didn't understand that. Like, I didn't understand that. You see Nathan Gary is the cancer on your team, but yet you cut Philly Will?
No, it doesn't. I mean,
why did you cut Will Parks? Like, is it like that? That didn't make sense to me then. It was like, all right, Will Parks had a couple of bad plays, but not as many as Nathan Gary, and he's still on the team.
And it's because they don't prioritize linebacker, right? Like you only have like behind Nathan Gary, you have what, maybe two other linebacker, and at least you had depth at the cornerback position and safety with Will Parks as safety. Like keep them. Like that's where we're weakest too. Like
Right.
I don't know. That's the defense has not made sense at all over the last 3 years.
Yes, I have to agree. I will have to agree to that. The defensive line been doing this thing. Shout out to them. But the
For
deep
sure.
linebackers, like once what you call him left, I forgot his name. Now he played for the Arizona Cardinals, but once he
Hicks.
left, yeah, once
Hicks.
Jordan Hicks left,
Yep.
yeah, I was like, that's not gonna be a good move for us.
No, I mean we invest so much in the front line and it's been great, but everything else behind them is terrible.
Yeah. And in this draft, I felt as though we should have just traded our pick and got a wide receiver if that was the case. Like I
I
would have been
totally agree.
cool with trading for Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Like,
would have
why
been
not?
cool. Yeah, I'd have been cool with trading that pick for DeAndre Hopkins.
They were all out there, and like the Eagles could have easily. They had the capital to go get like a big name player like that, right?
Right.
And it's just like Howie Roseman like holding off for what? Like we didn't get any real. I mean, obviously having Darius Slay, that was a great pick. I think we
Darius
needed
Slay
that.
was a great move. I love the Darius Slay move.
Love it. Absolutely love it. But like it's still like every time we try and draft a wide receiver or draft a position to help out, we do terrible at it. So why not at least try and get people at free agency or trade? Like get people we know are bona fide stars in the league.
Right. So that's where I stood on that at. So now it's like and another thing that I was sitting there thinking about is like, all right, the season ended and we didn't make the playoffs, we didn't win the division.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we do to get better the next year? Well, now we like $70 million over the cap. So it's not a lot that we can do. And I'm like, are they going to keep Carson Wentz or are they going to trade him?
Right.
And next thing you hear is Doug Peterson's been fired.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do you fire Doug Peterson after that year? How do you fire Doug Peterson?
Man, I'm telling you, and like that's like you're not gonna love me for this, but like I was on the team of fire Doug Peterson, but my issue was I was on the team of fire Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman. Like if you fire Doug, you have to fire Howie because it's not all Doug's fault of the team that he had out there. But I thought if they fired only one person, it was going to be Howie Roseman. I couldn't believe that of the one person being fired, it was only Doug Peterson. Like that was ridiculous.
I didn't feel neither one of them needed to be fired.
Really?
I felt as though I just felt as though it was a bad year. Like it's COVID. I'm like, all right, this COVID is a bad year. Like we've been through bad years with Andy Reid.
But everyone else had COVID to deal with as well. And like the thing is, man, we've been dropping down every year. Like the team has looked a little bit worse every year, and I don't think we're doing anything to make them better.
And
like Howie Roseman didn't do anything to make them better.
The person that needed to leave was Carson Wentz.
Really?
It was too much relied on Carson Wentz. It's like, okay, person that needs to leave was Carson Wentz. So let's try to get rid of Carson Wentz. Then I looked at it again and I said, all right, Doug Peterson had a bad year, but I've seen Doug Peterson better than this. To be honest with you, we've had one spectacular year out of Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 good seasons out of Doug Peterson.
I mean, Carson statistically still had a great season in 2018 and 2019.
Yeah, I don't see that. I'm not going by statistics because I was actually at these games. I actually went to 2 Eagles games that year, and I was sitting there in the stands, and I remember, I'm on the Carson wagon at the time, and it wasn't until the guy tapped me on the side and was like, he said, "Listen, man, I don't mean to be rude or nothing, but I don't think Carson Wentz got it no more." I'm like, "What you mean? You ain't watching this game? And this is the Eagles game that where Ezekiel Elliott jumped over the guy, hurdled the guy."
Oh yeah,
that Eagles game. I'm at that Eagles game. So, he's like, "I don't think he got it no more." He said, "Man, you got to look at these throws and see where he putting them at." He said, "He just ain't got." And then from that point on, I started looking at Carson Wentz differently, not as a fan, but just as, he might just be just another Eagles quarterback that had a little shine, and he might not get it no more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was looking at. I was like, I really can't. And every game I was looking at it like that until 2009. Was it 2019?
Well, 2019 is the one where we went 4 games in a row at the end of the season, right?
Right.
Before the
That
win.
and
Yeah.
that when that started, he started believing in his checkdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He started believing in his checkdowns and seeing that his checkdowns could be not just a 2-yard checkdown, it could turn into a 15-yard touchdown.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He started believing in his checkdowns, and it wasn't until the fourth quarter. I want to say it was the third quarter. The third quarter with like 6 minutes left of the first Giants game that you seen something different click.
Yeah.
It's almost
he
like
got
he
a
gave
rhythm.
him the Nick Foles playbook. That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah.
It's like he gave him the Nick Foles playbook and said, here, we're gonna work with this.
I mean, I agree with that too, but at the same time, right? Is that when I look at it, yes, statistically you're right. Can't always look stick. You got to use the eye test as well. And Carson Wentz did kill it statistically, but at the same time, I look at what's on the field out there, right? In 2019, man, there were no wide receivers around that were where they should be. And when you look closely at the game film as well, there were many instances, right, where Carson Wentz is throwing the ball and the wide receiver is supposed to be going left or cutting at a post in. Instead, he's going out. And it's always that miscommunication, I think, that built up to see Carson, where Carson's not trusting his wide receivers to be there. So he's doing the classic thing of waiting and seeing the guy open. And obviously that's not going to work because the ball has to come out before he's open. So I do agree that I think there was a breakdown as it went on. And from reports we hear, I think the coaches coddled him. They didn't didn't give him the hard truths when he wasn't playing well. So I think that plays into it as well. But I think that there was a lot there with gameplay calls, the way the players were on the field. I just didn't think that he had the best weapons to succeed until this year. But before, I thought, he was doing what he could with the weapons on the
field. Yeah, I have to agree with that. He was doing what he could with weapons on the field. I have to agree with that. He made the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah, and it wasn't great. He was a top 12. He was a top 12, 13 quarterback. And I think that's where he should be, right? Like, it's like a top 12, 13 in the league quarterback. Like, that's probably Carson long term.
Nah, he got to be top 10.
You think? I mean, what we wanted was top 10. I just think we now realize, like you said, you saw the guy tapping his shoulder saying that, he's not letting the ball go out time.
Right.
I think we're going to see more of the 2018, 2019 long term.
Like if he's, I'm going to say this. And I know a lot of people are not going to like me when I say this. And I said this on another show, and I'm going to say it again. And I'm going to refer this to the Rocky 3 movie. If Frank Wright is not Apollo Creed and Carson Wentz is not Rocky Balboa, this will not work. And a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, well, he's going back to the guy that helped him be who he was in 2017. It's going to look good early. But this will not work.
But what about what do you feel about the fact that, like, he doesn't have to be the hero, right? Because the Colts have a pretty good team around him.
Yeah, I know that, but this will not work. I'm trying to tell you, this will not work.
Because I feel like he could make it happen.
The ultimate goal is for Carson Wentz to go to the Colts and win a playoff game. I'm just telling you, I don't see that happening.
Really?
I don't see that happening.
That's the thing. I think either he becomes middling of the road, like a decent enough quarterback to be like a starter, or it's just a crash and burn. Like, I think those are two. I don't see him going back to 2017 level. Like, I don't think people are being unrealistic with that. I think we're going to see,
if he goes back to 2019, if he goes back to 2019, he could be a top 10 quarterback in this league. Yeah, the last 4 games of 2019, I'm talking about. The last 4 games.
But yeah, a good team. Yeah.
Last 4 games of 2019, he's a top 10 quarterback in this league.
Yep.
Now, I already know what they're going to say. Oh, he went to the Indianapolis Colts. There ain't really no weapons around him. He just had a real good offensive line. I hear all that. I hear everything that you're saying.
But the thing is, I don't think
Go ahead.
I don't think they could say that about the Colts. Because, like, the thing is, that's the deal, right? If Carson does bad on the Colts, there's no more excuses for him. Because now he's got his favorite coach that he really likes. They have a good running back in Taylor. They've got wide receiver help in Pittman. They got Jack Doyle tight end. They got maybe T.Y. Hilton if he comes back. They've got weapons and a good defense. So if they don't succeed with Carson, then, I mean, Carson's looking at like a Blake Bortles situation. Like, he's not going to be in the league much longer.
I think he should have went to a different team. Like, I really believe that Carson Wentz should have went to the 49ers.
Did they? Do you know? I mean, they've been talking about mystery teams. Do you think 49ers put in an offer for Carson?
I don't know. They might have, but I think he should have went to the 49ers. I think the 49ers would have took better care of him. I think maybe the Patriots. I think the Patriots would have took better care of him. What's another team?
The Raiders were rumored as possibly being interested.
Nah, he wouldn't did good at the Raiders. He needed
Yeah, not
he
with
needed
Gruden.
like he might not did good at the Patriots either because I just thought about it. They ain't really have too much either. All right, so he needed to go to a place where the offensive coordinator can talk him into being better. That's the place that he needed to go to.
Right.
So the
A
49ers
creative guy.
was one of my first choices. Like if he went to the Dolphins, I don't see him doing good with the Dolphins either.
Nah.
So,
I mean, the Bears were the other one, and I was like, "There's no way he's gonna be
no,
successful
that was
in
gonna be a
Chicago."
crash and burn too. That was
Oof,
gonna be a big burn. But
that
the
was gonna be bad.
49ers, he would have been cool with the 49ers. You know what? The Saints. The Saints was another one. I'm sorry.
Oh, that would have been cool.
The
That would have
Saints
been
was
sick.
another one that he'd have been good at. The Saints.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
another one. And maybe go be and if all else fails, go be a backup to Patrick Mahomes with Andy Reid.
Hey man, if he can accept the backup role, like I said, backup role, sweet gig. You get what, $12-15 million a year, and you just got a whole clipboard. I mean, if he can accept that, we'll see.
It was backups last year making more than starters.
Yeah. Oh my God. Man. No, I mean the thing is, Frank Reich though. Don't forget, like when Philip Rivers came to Frank Reich's team in the Colts the year before, he threw 20 interceptions, right?
Right.
So he even had a worse season than Carson Wentz, and Frank Reich was able to get that team to the playoffs with Philip Rivers. So, like again, I don't think Carson Wentz needs to be superhero to like get this one done. He just needs to be able to play decent enough, and I think that they can at least get to playoffs and win a game.
I don't think they win the game though. That's the only thing.
But the AFC South, they're making
they get
it
to the playoffs.
Yeah, because it's a terrible division. Like they're gonna make it at some point. Like all they got to do is out of
Tennessee. I think Tennessee turns it up another notch.
I'd love to see that though. I would like to see Tennessee play well.
I think Tennessee might sneak around, and they might get JJ Watt.
No way, really?
I think they might sneak around because that's his former coach.
Yeah, I mean yeah. I mean, they would be a great. I mean, that's what they need though. The Titans need a consistent defense to partner with that offense, and then that division's gone.
Right. But I want to let me move on. Let me move on to Carson and Doug Peterson because there was something else I was mad at, and that was Deshaun Jackson. Now, here's my thing about Deshaun Jackson. You cut him back when he was younger because you said that he had gang affiliations.
Yep.
This guy is I want to say he's the all-time leading receiver in Philadelphia Eagles history.
I think so. Yards-wise, I think so, yeah.
I think I want to say that. If he's not number one, he's close to it. Let's get that out the way. Don't nobody quote me on that, all right? He's not number one, he's close to it. But what I want to say is you're starting to see why there's a reason why we don't have that many good wide receivers. You know what I mean? I think we only have, in my lifetime, I think it's only one or two wide receivers that won the Hall of Fame, and Chris Carter. And I think Harold Carmichael was either trying to get in or he's in. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Was he? I think he was on voting last year. He might be.
Yeah, okay, so they still voting for him to get in. Okay.
I mean, it's true, man. I mean, if you count Terrell Owens, maybe he's
if you count T.O., then it's two. If you count T.O., it's two.
I think the Eagles have always had like good, like decent, like average wide receivers, right? Like think of our Jeremy Maclin, Jason Avant, even Pinkston was all right, but I mean, they always got wide receivers that either like show flashes of greatness and then kind of like just they're all right. But I agree.
Fred Barnett was back in the day. Fred Barnett.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't forget Irvin Fryer. That's more of your time.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, actually, I don't remember Irvin Fryer, but I was gonna say with Jackson, man. I mean, my problem is that I wish we still had Jackson during his peak, right? Because obviously that was a Chip Kelly smear job, and they just got rid of him because Chip Kelly didn't like him, and he did everything to get him out the door. Right. And like, I wish we just could have had him through that time because the whole problem was, I mean, he played 2 games over the last like 2 seasons. The guy's just too explosive for his age now. He just unfortunately gets injured because he's a speed guy, and I don't think he's got his body can't take that anymore. So I don't think he was a good fit to have on the team. But it is, I I mean, we definitely did him wrong back then, and I wish we could have had him
I
during his
think
peak.
we I think we did him wrong again. I just seen a report, and I don't know. Maybe Deshaun Jackson. Maybe one day when I interview Deshaun Jackson, maybe he'll tell me. But I
Okay.
feel as though, how do you offer Marquise Goodwin a restructured contract,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't even play last season, so you don't even know what he really is.
Yep.
For him to stay around, but you don't offer Deshaun Jackson a restrict, and this guy is franchise royalty. This guy is supposed to retire an Eagle at the
Yep.
end of the day. Like, you just let him finish out his contract and retire an Eagle. Now I
Yep.
understand we owe him $11 million, so then you come to him and say, listen, can we restructure your contract?
Yeah.
Now maybe he said no, he wasn't restructuring. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going. I'm going to throw it out there. Maybe he said no, I ain't restructuring nothing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what it is. But and if that's not what it is, then yeah, it just seemed like now you're just cutting old guys. Because the next one I'm hearing about is Jason Kelce.
That'd be dumb too. I mean, he just went to the Pro Bowl. Like, it'd be insane to cut him. Like, let the man decide when he retires.
Oh, that's a $5.5 million cut
Yep.
right there.
Yep. It'll be dead cap money. I think if it's before the deadline, it's gonna be almost 10 million of dead cap money. Like, only if we wait afterwards is it a release of 5. Like, it's
But I
crazy.
think that's another one like we can restructure. We can restructure his
Yep.
too.
I
I
agree.
think he'd be willing to restructure. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't understand none of this. I don't understand why they didn't come to certain players and say, "Yo, can we restructure your contract to help out the dead cap?" Sure. I
Yeah.
think
I mean,
Landon Johnson would have been there, like I said, sure.
yep. I think it's just sad because it just shows like Howie Roseman won. I don't think Howie Roseman has great relationships with the players. Like, I just don't think that's true. I think he kind of just sits up there and just, he's just a contract guy. And I think the problem is they took so much heat this year of having these aging contracts, right? Like, I've said I don't agree with signing Deshaun Jackson the first time. Like, I love him and I appreciate everything he did for the team, but I just didn't want him the first time around because, like we saw, he got injured and he couldn't play. But I agree with you. Like, at least give the guy the offer. Say, hey, we don't want to play with you. We don't want to have you on the team because we need to rebuild. But we're going to give you like a cheap contract here for a year if you want to retire here, and at least give him that option to retire as an Eagle. Because
Right.
I think we can all see though, Deshaun Jackson is no longer the player he once was. So we can't have him on the field necessarily because he's not healthy. But I give him the opportunity to retire as an Eagle.
Exactly. That's the way I feel about it. That's exactly the way I feel about it.
Yeah. But Jason Kelce, man, if they get rid of Jason Kelce, there's gonna be a riot because the Jason Kelce can still play, and he just went to the Pro Bowl, and he was the only one on that line that didn't get injured last year, and he's the oldest. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I think is what the thing with Jason Kelce is he wanted to retire after the Super Bowl year.
Right. Yeah. He's year by year.
Yeah, he was contemplating retiring back then. So, and I mean, we never really got a definitive backup for him. That's the thing that kind of gets me. Like, we don't have a backup for this guy.
No. Every time they try and put someone in, it just doesn't work. Like, we got.
And he's been here
I think
for
we
10
got
years.
a good line there. Yep.
And
We've got like good backups. Yeah, we got good tackles and guards, but I don't think we have any centers.
I think we're good at the tackles and guard position. Yeah, we're real good there.
Yeah, like Mayada.
Yeah, Mayada's nice, man.
Yeah, I didn't know if he'd be anything, but I like him. I like that rugby player.
I said I like him too. Only thing is I think probably next year his feet work will be even better.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. Like him getting that playing time this year was great. All that was great for him.
Absolutely.
But then it's like what you do with Andrew Dillard and Andre Dillard. What you do with him?
Yeah.
You move him to guard.
That's the thing. Like, he's got the talent. I'd move him because I think he's valuable having that line because I think he could be skilled. Like, it's unfortunate he got injured, but I think you got to try and move him, make him work. Otherwise, I mean, how much value do you think he can get out there on the market? Because I mean, if you can, maybe you can flip it for like a center, like someone that can play center, or like get capital to draft a lineman to fill that up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't 100% know that one either.
Yeah, because I don't know what his value is in the league.
Okay. So now it's like, how do you feel about the new coaching and coaching staff?
Nick Sirianni, I don't know, man. I get it. There's a trend now with coaching, right? We got to go for the young coach who, young offensive minded. But I don't think Nick Sirianni was the first choice. I don't think it's necessarily right he got hired. I think there's a lot of other capable candidates that should have been interviewed. I'm shocked we did not interview Eric Bieniemy. I think that was one of the dumbest moves that Howie Roseman made in this search because I think he would have been a great coach. But yeah, I mean, his news conference made me a little nervous. I think because he was a little nervous. But I mean, I don't know. There's nothing to say right now on him because we don't really know what he can do. But I was not necessarily impressed. That's for damn sure.
I feel like so. I said this. I said I'm gonna sit back and watch what he does this year. That's what I said. I got a feeling that the Eagles are going to draft a quarterback in the 3rd round.
You think so?
I think they're going to draft Kyle Trask from Florida.
I think they're going to draft, dude. I would not be surprised if they draft a quarterback with the 6th overall pick. Like if one falls, I would not put it past Howie Roseman to do that. Absolutely, I think he could do it.
Don't do it.
I'm telling you, man.
I call Jalen Hurts my son. At least let my son. And I don't say it like like I'm his popping like that. I'm just saying like that's he's one of my favorite guys. That's nothing personal. Jalen Hurts, if you're watching this, but yeah, I nothing personal. This is a guy that I look at there and I say, this guy right here is going to be special.
You think so? Because I'm worried about the arm, man. Like I love him, but I'm worried about that arm.
He gives me that Dak Prescott feel.
See, if he can do that, I'm down. If he can be efficient and win, I'll totally be on board always.
Yeah, he gives me that Dak Prescott feel. I think next I see the fact that he's actually getting out there and trying to work with his wide receivers. They're going to have a wide receiver quarterback camp. I love it because I can't wait for him and Quez Watkins to get on the same page. Quez Watkins is going to be special for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'll be waiting to see that. I'd love to see that happen because I mean that'd be an absolute they would find a great diamond in the rough there if he does great.
Yeah. This upcoming draft we gotta hit big.
Yeah,
and that's the one thing that we don't do well. We don't draft well.
Oh no, because I want to put something to you. What if? Because I'll say if we go this draft, right? Eagles are thinking about drafting a quarterback in the 1st round. If they decide to draft a quarterback in the 1st round, do you think that they should keep Jalen Hurts and have that competition, or do you think they should try and trade Jalen Hurts and get some draft capital for like a team that needs like a Steelers?
Yeah, I think they should trade him.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If they have 2 quarterbacks,
go somewhere and blossom.
Exactly, because I would hate if Howie Roseman drafts a quarterback and then Jalen Hurts has to deal with this competition thing that like we dealt with Carson Wentz all stuff.
Yeah, but that wouldn't hurt him. He's used to it.
You don't think so?
No, he's used to it.
He's tough. He's a leader, man. He's a leader on that field.
Yeah, he's a leader. He's used to it though. You know what I mean? He lost his starting job to Tua, and then came back and helped them get to the national championship when Tua went down.
Right. That's right.
He's used to it. That's why I love him. I've seen him go through all adversity and still be the same guy.
Yeah. I mean, the locker room loves him. He could be good. I think he can go to battle for us. Like, I do believe that. I hope with the offseason he can work on the throwing because the only criticism I had through those 4 games is that the throwing did not look on. And granted, he didn't have an offseason. He didn't have a season to work on, so he'll have time to build that up. But I want to see the arm strength and accuracy get better because I think otherwise he's a playmaker for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. I believe he's a playmaker too. I believe in him highly. I highly believe in him. But a lot of other people wanted, another other thing I wanted to know about the Eagles. Do you trust this new defense? Because somebody told me that we might be going to a 3-4.
Yeah, with the new Colts defensive coordinator that came over as our D coordinator. Yeah, apparently, I don't see why that couldn't work. I think we have the personnel that can maybe make it happen, but I don't think we don't have the linebackers. I think the front 3 can get through, but I don't see how you're going to have a linebacker core that's going to be competent in that type of system.
Right.
Like, I don't know. What do you feel? How you looking at it?
I say stay where we at 4-3 because we don't have no linebackers. It's hard for us to get linebackers. It's not been working out right. We had a chance to pick up 1 or 2 linebackers that actually played very well this season. We ain't get neither one of them. So I really don't like our development in certain things either. It's different. This is going to be different with Nick Sirianni.
For sure.
Not really on the board like that. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. I will be watching every game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no predictions and nothing. I'm watching every football game this season.
I think that's how we got to go, man. It's just going to be one game at a time, just like because it's going to be a rough season. I think it's going to be a rough season coming up.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. It's gonna be a rough season. Is there anything that you want to see in this free agency from the Eagles?
I honestly because of like you said on the defensive side of the ball and development issues. I still think we need to go out and try and at least pick up another a cornerback or at least a linebacker, like you said. But I'd love to get another solid cornerback to go on the other side of Darius Slay. I think that's where we need experience. I don't really trust us drafting that position. We have not drafted well at the cornerback position. I think we need to really help out back there and make it deep. And the only other spot I want to see free agency is there's a lot of good wide receivers out there. We got Allen Robinson, Kenny Galladay's going to be out there. I think that we could probably get a decent veteran wide receiver to help out and make it so we have a balanced wide receiver front for sure. Like those men, two cornerback on the defensive side of the ball and wide receiver. Because I don't trust drafting them.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, Chad. Tell the people how to get in contact with you, man, because like I said, this has been a great show. But tell the people how to get in contact with you.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to check out the stuff, I have all my stuff. I post clips on Instagram at Chad Burns Show. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to the show. It's the Chad Burns Show, and we have all of our stuff on YouTube as well, the Chad Burns Show. So check it all there. And yeah, appreciate you having me on. This has been real fun talking birds.
Yes, man, it has been real fun talking birds. Next time I have you on, I'm try to get you back on around the end of March. Right after that free agency period, and then we'll go on there. We'll talk birds, and we'll probably talk playoff Sixers at that time too. And we'll probably be talking, and we'll be talking Phillies. We'll be talking Phillies too.
You got it, man. I'm down for all that. Definitely Sixers talk. I'm so excited.
Yeah, man. MVP. That's what I call him.
Oh, MVP. For sure, dude. Absolutely. Killing it.
He's a monster. And, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for coming out tonight. God bless. Good night.